back in the 20s, after World War I, there was a program that went around and would let communities buy these statues to commemorate World War I. And across the nation, there were around 125, some people say 150, they weren't too sure, of the doughboy statues. Now that's the gentleman over there with the rifle and the bayonet. I also found out that on the sailors, there's only 7 that were done during that time. And we are actually in Oklahoma honored to have 2 of them, one here and one in Hobart. And as far as the doughboy name, does anybody know how they got the name doughboy? These gentlemen were in the infantry, and wherever they marched, they created a little bit of a cloud of dust. And it came over them like a powder. And they said that in the mist and rain, it also became kind of a paste, like dough. And that name stuck with them. When Phil Neighbors came to us about the story of our hometown heroes, my thoughts went immediately to the fields of St. Etienne. He had showed us an aerial photograph of the area where we could see the hill and we could see the farmlands, but there was something wrong with the farmlands. There were these large scars, these diagonal slices all over the land. And I asked Phil, I said, are those the trenches? And it was. This is where, for the high school and junior high, this is where the boys fought out of. They didn't have trees to hide behind. They had to dig their own holes to keep them safe. And just to let you know, those trenches are approximately 7 feet deep, and the troops would stand on platforms, as I understand it, to shoot at the enemy. The trenches were muddy, cold, and home to our doughboys. Those deep, mile-long trenches were dug by using this. Anybody want to dig a mile-long trench, 7 feet deep, with this? And it was dug by young men who are the same age as you juniors and seniors here today. The black granite is shaped like the trenches. I wanted to make an impression on that. And the scene in that trench, you can see the doughboys. And in the hill is in the background. And they're looking towards that hill because that's what they're having to take. We chose to put the main part of the memorial in our native Oklahoma red granite to symbolize the earth from where they came and to support the men in the trenches. So the red granite's holding the trench. This native granite is rough on the back and it's in freeform shape to reflect the spirit of our boys, and it's polished on the front to reflect the blood that was spilled in order to win the world's freedom from tyranny. It's been an honor to be a part of this. Thank you, Phil, for letting us do this.
The last reading is going to be of the actual text that's on the memorial. There was a lot of thought that was placed in this by Phil and some others, and so we wanted you to hear the text read. The 36th Infantry Division's 132nd Machine Gun Battalion, World War I, the war that changed the world. The 36th Infantry Division was organized by combining the Oklahoma and Texas National Guards. 60 men who volunteered from Old Greer County were kept together and placed in the 132nd Machine Gun Battalion in that division on October 8th, 1918. These men fought on Hill 140 at Saint-Étienne-en-Arns, France. The division suffered 1,300 casualties in the first day of fighting. which was the highest single-day casualty rate of the war. After 3 days of heavy fighting, the enemy began to retreat. And 1 month later, the war came to an end on November 11th, 1918. 55 other men from Old Greer County fought in the same battle with the 141st and 142nd Infantry Regiment of the 36th Division. One of these soldiers, Sergeant Samuel Sampler from Mangum, received the Medal of Honor for his action on Hill 140 as he fought alongside his fellow doughboys from southwest Oklahoma. These men were from Granite, Mangum, Blake, Brinkman, Reed, Willow, Lake Creek, Duke, El Dorado, Gould, Hollis, Victory, Benson, Ozark, Blair, Altus, Eric, Liberty, Hedrick, Elmer, Olusty, Dryden, Martha, Deer Creek, and Delhi. We present to you the National World War I Centennial Monument.